Okay, it's now 5 p.m. and the chair calls this meeting to order. So before we proceed, I want to make sure and do a roll call so that we know we are all here. Let's start with Trustee Stoma.
Yes, I'm here.
Trustee Murillo.
I'm here.
Trustee Vogt.
Here.
Trustee Pierce.
Present.
Trustee Kane.
Here.
Trustee Sullivan.
Present.
And Trustee Wilson.
I'm here.
Okay, Trustee Wilson is here. Perfect. If you can please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dr. Head, has the meeting been properly posted and certified?
Yes, I certify it was posted in accordance with the law.
Thank you, sir. Desiree, do we have anyone for public comment?
Chair, we do not have anyone signed up for this evening.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Our next item is the finance report and considerations. Jennifer?
So we've got about 5 or 6 slides tonight to give you a little background information. And so the information you're hearing tonight about the tax rate is that we originally presented this back in June at the budget workshop. So Jennifer will go into a little more detail about that tonight. So.
Yes, thank you, board, for joining me tonight for the special meeting. The goal of tonight is for the board to provide notice of intent to hold a required public hearing and to propose the ad valorem tax rate for the tax year 2022. And this is for our fiscal year 2023 budget. So in front of you, I have what the proposed rate is, which is 10.78 cents for every $100 of valuation. This is the same overall tax rate as we had last year of 10.78 cents. This does include a different split, however, between the two components of the total tax rate. The first component, M&O, that is the maintenance and operations tax rate. Last year and prior years, we have had that set at 8 cents. This year, we are proposing to lower that to 7.37 cents. And then INS, that is the interest and sinking fund rate, which is the debt service rate. That rate we are proposing to increase from 2.78 cents up to 3.41 cents. If we could get it to the next slide, please. So yes, here I wanted to share again, this was presented at the June workshop in preparation for the budget that we have been planning on this shift between the maintenance and operations rate and the debt service rate. The intent here is to be able to, to pay off some debt early, 18.6 million worth of debt. We can pay off early by doing this shift. And that'll save us over the course of 20 years, 11.9 million in interest payments by paying that debt off early. So with that proposal, I do want to go through a few things that are legislatively required with setting the tax rate. So first, important things to know is there's 2 particular calculations we have to do. The first is called the no new revenue rate. We calculate this rate to be what rate would we set to generate the same amount of property tax revenues that we received last year on the existing tax rolls. That is important because that means for existing properties, no property revenue growth. The only
Should back up about 3 or 4 inches, Adam. We're getting the whatever you call that.
Feedback.
I'm trying to find the right. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
Yes, sorry. So this rate, the no new revenue rate,
back up just a little bit, yeah.
Either that or they could turn down the mic just a hair, her mic just a hair. Just a little bit.
If I stay right here, can everyone still hear me and no feedback?
Sounds
Okay.
better.
I'm not going to move.
I think you need to move back about that far, really, like that way. Yeah, okay.
Okay, the no new revenue rate is the rate that would generate on existing property rolls, no new revenue. The only new revenue that would be received is on new properties. That rate is 9.16 cents. Then there is the voter approval tax rate, the VAR. This then adds and allows for an additional 8% on the operations portion of that rate. So the voter approval rate allows an additional 8% on that operations piece, and then the amount needed for debt service. If we were to adopt a tax rate higher than the VAR, that would automatically trigger a general election. We are not proposing to do that. The VAR is 10.78 cents, and that is the rate we are proposing is the 10.78 cents. So the proposed rate, it is a combined increase over the NNR of 17.7%. And that increase includes three separate things. First, it includes that 8% on operations that is included in the VAR tax rate. It also includes property tax revenues on any new properties in our district. And then that also includes that 18.6 million to pay off debt early. That's in the debt service portion of the rate. So yes, please bear with me as I go through just a few more requirements, just so we are aware of the calendar that we are required to hold per the state code. So first, a lot of this hinges off of the date that we receive the certified values from the appraisal districts. This year, we received them on August 31st. Once you have that date, and then the final adoption of the tax rate has to occur 60 days from that, within 60 days from that date. And then you can see there's several steps that we have to take to get there. So first, we have to do that tax rate calculation of the NNR and the VAR rates, and that has to be posted to our webpage, which we did Friday, September 16th. Next, the board needs to vote to have the intent to have the public hearing and propose the tax rate. That is what we are doing tonight. With that, then we will post on our website and publish in newspapers on Monday, September 6th, notice of the hearing. And we are proposing to hold that hearing on Thursday, October 6th. From there, once we hold that public hearing, we need to vote to adopt the tax rate within 7 days of that hearing. But we are proposing to do that same night after the hearing. If we have the hearing first and then our regular board meeting, the board can take up consideration of that tax rate. So October 6th is our proposed schedule for completing this process. Friday, October 28th is the final deadline that we have to complete everything. So with this proposed tax rate, I just wanted to share the 15-year tax rate history comparing Lone Star College against the state average. And you can see even with keeping the 10.78 cents, we are still well below the state average tax rate. Now, I know that the prior slide with the requirements, right, that has a lot in there. So this is where I wanted to end with just the summary of the calendar in front of us, which is that on August 31st is when we receive those certified values, and that's what triggers this whole process. With tonight's special board meeting, for the board to take up consideration of the public hearing and proposing the tax rate. And then Thursday, October 6th, for us to hold the public hearing on that proposed tax rate. And then again on Thursday, October 6th, the regular board meeting for the board to take up consideration of the rate. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. Do we have any comments or any further comments or questions in regards to this? Okay. If we can move to proposing and vote for proposal. Just one second.
You need a motion for that, Madam Chair?
I have to mention that as a motion. So I, Miriam Saldivar, move to propose the maintenance and operations component of the ad valorem tax rate of 0.0737 per 100 of assessed valuation and interest and sinking component of the ad valorem tax rate of 0.0341 per 100 of assessed valuation for tax year 2022, and that a public hearing on the proposed tax rate be held on October 6, 2022 at 5:00 p.m. May I have a second?
Is that a motion?
Yes.
Okay, may I second it?
Yes, please.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and second. We're going to do a roll call for this one.
Discussion.
Any discussions or any comments?
This is Trustee Wilson. Jennifer,
Yep.
did you get the numbers for me that I asked for at the board meeting?
What was that again, Trustee Wilson?
I was asking Jennifer, did she get the numbers that I asked for at the last board meeting?
I believe you're referring to the numbers on the homestead exemption.
Yep.
Those, I do not have those for you yet because that is a consideration and discussion we are having towards next year. The homestead exemption is we are past a deadline to consider that exemption for this current year. So I will certainly get that
I
for
didn't
you.
ask for a consideration of exemption. I asked how many people actually turned it in so I can know. Mental note.
Yeah, I will get that to you. My apologies. I do not have it with me tonight, but I will certainly get that to you. Yes, I will.
All right.
Okay. Anything else? Hearing none. Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you.
So let's do this roll call. Trustee Pierce.
I'm good. Okay, we're not voting on the actual tax rate, right? Hike or whatever we're doing. This is not the final thing. This is just to go on further, right, Jennifer? I mean, Madam Chair.
We're voting on proposing the rate and proposing and the notice for public hearing. Is that correct, Jennifer?
Correct. Tonight is not adoption of the tax rate. Tonight is voting to propose the rate and set the notice for the public hearing.
Okay, I abstain.
Okay, Trustee Pierce abstains. Trustee Sullivan?
Yes.
Trustee Sullivan, yes. Trustee Wilson?
Yes.
Trustee Wilson, yes. Trustee Vogt?
Aye.
Yes. Trustee Kane?
Yes.
Trustee Stoma?
Aye.
Trustee Murillo?
Yes.
And myself, yes. So the item passes. Thank you so much, Jennifer.
I forgot to.
And just before we adjourn today, we want to make sure and introduce Andrew Chrisman for Community Impact. Andrew, who are you? You're right there. Hi, Andrew. Thank you so much for joining us today. All right, so any further questions or concerns? So hearing none, it's, please,
I have a
Trustee Vogt.
question. If this, with the current laws about fixing the tax rate, if we were to say, I'm looking back in the past, we've had situations where we voted to have another district, independent school district, join. And how does, we didn't have these checks and on the tax rates and the public hearings back then, but I'm just wondering how that would work going forward. Is there provision in that law for?
I don't know about the law, but what we did when Cy-Fair joined, the rate itself stayed the same until Cy-Fair came in, and then the board would make a decision about that based on new assessed values. So, and I was looking back through the what we've done since I've been the chancellor anyway. No one has joined the system, and I don't see that happening realistically for another 2 years maybe before somebody joined. But the board would have to make that decision, but it would be based on assessed values. In other words, if we had a great deal of assessed value, we may be able to lower the taxes, depending on if we had to build a center. If we had to build a center in one of the ISTs, then the tax rate might stay the same. So it just depends. So we would know generally ahead of time what that might look like based on assessed value. So if a system with a very high assessed value came in, then I mean, it's the board's decision on how they want to do that. But most likely, if we added $30 million to the system, then we could probably lower the tax rate. So, does that make sense?
Madam Chair, could I ask General Counsel if this is appropriate discussion since it's not posted as an agenda item and we've already taken the vote on the item that was on the agenda? Okay.
What do you say?
He said it, well, let's.
He's-
let him-
he's-
Can you please?
Yeah.
Yes. We didn't hear you.
So to make fall under future agenda items, if it's styled in that sense as to bringing it forward for a discussion in a future board agenda. But other than that, no, sir, it's outside of the scope of the board meeting for tonight.
And posted agenda items for future meetings, not on tonight's agenda anyway.
Correct, sir.
So that might not be appropriate then.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Sullivan. So hopefully that answers sort of your question, Trustee Vogt. But if we could adjourn, it's 5:18, and the chair adjourns this meeting. Thank you so much.